If you thought drill press dust collection was not possible, today I'm going to show you a very affordable attachment that will help with that issue. Hey everybody, what's going on? Jason with Ben's Woodworking, and in this week's video I'm going to talk about a really cool addition that you can add to your drill press that I've been using on mine for just over a year now, and it's called the Drillnado. The Drillnado is a dust collection device that basically attaches to the chuck of your drill press. And so in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about maybe some of the features that you can get with the Drillnado, along with how to install it on the drill press. At least I'm going to show you how I install it on mine. It's very easy. And then I'm also going to do a side-by-side comparison using the Drillnado with dust collection and not using it, and just show you really how effective this device is. I want to make it clear that I am in no way endorsed by Drillnado or the owner of the company. I bought this device last year at the Woodworking show in Atlanta, and I've been using it. I'm just a really big fan, and I've gotten so many questions from people ever since I posted this on Instagram. I thought that what better opportunity to share some of the information about it than a YouTube video here. So I'm going and bringing you in a little bit closer to show you the components that come with this, and it's really quite simple. There's this piece right here that actually goes over your chuck, and this piece is actually two. I just still have my screws in that are right here because I'm able to get it over my chuck with those two connected, and it just separates just enough to get over the chuck. Right here I have the two screws that will go in those slots, and they go in on opposing sides. So I have one screw that goes in this way, and I have one screw that goes in that way. And then the only other two things are this PVC collapsible shroud that you see here. Now, I will say that I've had this for over a year. I use it fairly often, and this is still the original shroud. It did come with an additional shroud, but I just have not had the need for it because this is held up just fine. And then there's a small piece of clear PVC that will basically go over the bottom here, which is an improvement from earlier models, and it allows you to be able to see your workpiece, and it stays very well. I've never had it fall off. As you saw as I was trying to put it on there, it's actually a little bit stiff when you're putting it on, so it's a really nice fit. So these are the components that come with the Drillnado itself. I'm going to show you very quickly just how easy this is to install. Now remember, I told you I kept two screws in, and I've only got two screws that need to be installed. And all I do is I slip this up onto this top portion of my chuck, and it fits on there just perfectly. As you can see, I can take my hands off and it's going to stay in place. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and place my screws in and just get them threaded in ever so slightly. And then I will just take my drill here and I'll quickly tighten these things down. And it's good to go. I do want to point out that as you can see back here, I do have my dust collection port kind of facing back at an angle. That's really so I can go ahead and connect my hose to it. It's not going to be in the way anywhere during my drilling operations. Installation of the shroud itself is really quite simple. As you can see, I've only got a couple of inches of clearance here, and if I just compress my shroud, it will fit right over the top and go right on there. Now, let's say, for instance, if my bit was a little bit longer, I could just take off this plastic portion here. It slips on just fine, but in this scenario, I do not need to do that. So I will go ahead and wrap this over the top, and this just clips in to the Drillnado housing. I don't know if you guys heard that click, but now I'm pulling down on it. It stays just fine. I've never had this thing fall out for any reason, and if I do need to take it out to change the bit, it simply pops right out, and I'm able to access my bit. Once I'm done, I can just simply slide this back over the top, push it up until I hear that click, and now it's in place. The Drillnado does not come with any sort of dust hose or dust collection. It's simply these couple of pieces right here. And so what I chose to use is some of this flexible hose, as you can hear as I bend it. This stuff works really good, and the reason the flexible hose is so beneficial for the drill press, in my opinion, is because it stays really rigid, and so you don't have some hose that's just kind of dangling around all over the place, and that's one of the benefits. Now, this is a 2.5-inch hose, so you can actually use this, which it's designed to be used with a shop vac itself. However, I have mine hooked up to my regular dust collection, And currently I just have one of the Rockler Dustright universal acceptance ports here, and I can just hook up my Rockler Dustright hose that I use to clean up my shop to this. I did recently just make a change and move my drill press to this location. So this is not mounted to the wall or anything. I kind of just have it hanging down until I get it mounted. And this thing has worked very, very well. And once I get it mounted, it'll just be in a permanent location. But other than that, it has not changed the abilities of the Drillnado in any way, shape, or form. To connect it to the actual housing itself, I didn't do anything special. This is simply a zip tie, honestly, that is on here. And this is just tight enough to where it slides over and it takes a little bit of pressure to pull it off. So it probably isn't causing a perfect seal, therefore increasing the amount of suction. But as you'll see in the demonstration here in a minute, I'm not really that worried about it because it's pretty effective the way that it is. Attaching this is really just as simple as me sliding this right over this fitting here. Get it on there. It stays nice and tight, just like that. And that's really all I do. And then I will connect my dust collection itself down to the connection at the base of the hose, and now it's ready to go. Now I'll go ahead and just get into the demonstration itself. So as you can see, I've taken the Drillnado off. I will be using this without any dust collection, and I'm gonna drill anywhere from 5 to 10 holes using, in this instance, I'm using a Forstner bit. This is a 3/8 inch Forstner bit, and I'm just gonna drill multiple holes. And so at the end of it, you'll see how many shavings come out, and then I'll do the exact same thing with the Drillnado attached so you can see the difference. Okay, I made 5 holes using this 3/8 inch Forstner bit, and as you can see, there's a very ample amount of shaving. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up. I'm gonna attach the Drillnado, and I'll make the same 5 cuts, or same 5 holes using the Drillnado and dust collection on. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the actual shroud itself, just so you guys can kind of see a little bit more clearly of what's left. So the only thing that's left is this little bit right here, and every other one of the holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like the last one, this is all the dust or all the shavings that are left. So a pretty substantial difference with the shroud and the dust collection hooked up itself. Now you can see just how beneficial it could be to have one of these things. So the first thing that I want to highlight, on my drill press specifically, I've got the laser, and a lot of drill presses have this laser option. And there have been some reviews that have talked about this has blocked the visibility of the laser. This is in no way, shape, or form blocked the visibility of my laser, and it still works just as good as it does without it on there. The second thing that I want to point out, to be fair, is that the amount that this sticks out underneath this when it's fully extended does make a difference. And the reason I'm saying that is because if I'm drilling just a very small hole, this will create a seal. So if I have a drill bit that for some reason is sticking out of my chuck really far, whether it's a much smaller neck itself that goes into the chuck and it just sticks out way further, if this doesn't create the seal, obviously it's not quite as effective as it is when it does create the seal. However, it seems to work pretty good either way unless the bit is just really long. If you're using a large Forstner bit, Obviously, you cannot be as fast and aggressive as you can with something like this or just a standard drill bit. Reason being is because the larger diameter Forstner bit, like you see down here, obviously is going to create larger shavings. So what I have found is if you are using the larger diameter ones, go a little bit slower than you normally would, and the dust collection of the Drillnado will keep up with those shavings. However, if you just try to plunge right into it, it's going to create a lot of big shavings and it's going to clog up the Drillnado itself. So that's the down and dirty of the Drillnado, which I use on my drill press, which I've gotten a ton of questions about. It's a super awesome addition to any drill press, regardless if you have just a small benchtop one or if you have a floor standing one. If you want to get a handle on dust collection on a drill press, 100% I would recommend you take a look at the Drillnado. Just to give you an idea of the cost for each one of these items. So the regular Drillnado, which is the one that I have, runs $50 on Amazon, and the DrillnadoXL runs $60 on Amazon. As usual, I'm going to go ahead and leave some affiliate links down below should you want to find out more information, read reviews, and or buy one of these for your drill press. If you guys have any additional questions about the Drillnado specifically, please don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section below, or head over to Instagram at Bent's Woodworking, send me a DM, look through some of my posts where I actually feature it, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have about this product. That's all I have for you this week, everyone. As usual, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get to see more videos like this in the future. And if you're not following me on Instagram, go check me out there at Bent's Woodworking, and you can follow what I'm doing on a daily basis. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.